Now I'm going to show you the record of Hikaru Nakamura versus the rest of the field in the FIDE candidates final. The first person I'm going to show you is Hikaru Nakamura's record against Sergei Karyakin. As you can see on the left is classical, 11% wins, 17% loss, draws 72%, and then they have blitz and rapid. Shows 100% loss and 100% draw. They probably played one game, so we'll concentrate on the classic. I'm a little surprised that Sergei did as well. Now 72% draw, 17% loss, 11% win. And they came up around the same time. They're around the same age. So there's Sergei Karyakin's record against Hikaru. Now here's Hikaru's record against Anish Giri for the Netherlands. Now I'm looking at the blitz. It's about even. Rapid, of course, we all know that Hikaru is a world-class blitz player. But it's the classical, of course, that are the classic chess that we're really looking at. And according to the game statistics that I saw online, 9% win, 13% loss, and 78% draw. So that's Hikaru's record against Anish Giri. Here is Hikaru's record with Vishy Anand, former, I believe, 5-time world champion, who won the candidates last year. They counted Vishy out, but he pulled it through, played excellent chess. It's pretty close on the blitz. Rapid, of course, Hikaru does much better. It's a little closer in the blitz than I thought it'd be. But it's the classical, of course, we're all looking for, and it's 12% wins for Hikaru, 29% loss, and 59% draw. So that's the record Hikaru has against Vishy Anand. Here's Hikaru's record against Peter Svidler. And Hikaru was admitted in the past, he hasn't had that great of a record against Peter, and this certainly bears it out. He's lost half his games, drew 42% and won only 8%. So, looks like Peter has Hikaru's number. So we're going to have to see how Peter does, which Peter shows up. If the Peter that puts a lot of time and effort into his chess comes through, Hikaru's going to have a tough time. But there's Hikaru's record against Peter Svidler. And here is Hikaru's record against Fabiano Caruana, his compadre, an American. A little higher loss rate than I thought. Hikaru's only won 8%, lost 16%, drew 76. You see his blitz is much better, and his rapid is not as good, but it's the classical, of course, which is important. And I'm a little surprised it's 16%. But there is Hikaru Nakamura's record against Fabiano Caruana. And here's Hikaru's record against Levin Aronian, someone I like a lot. And I'm really surprised on the classical. The blitz and the rapid's about right. 50-50 on the blitz. A little bit higher loss on the rapid, but I'm really surprised that Hikaru's classical record against Levin is so poor. I'm not sure how far back this goes when Hikaru was a lot younger. I think if you take the last 2 years, I'm not sure how many years it is, but I thought it'd be a little bit better. But anyway, here's Hikaru's record against Levin Aronian. And also here is the last player, Hikaru's record against Vesselin Topalov, a former world champion. 39% loss, 46% draw, and 15% win. I'm a little surprised. This must go back farther than I had thought. I do pick Hikaru as my pick to win the tournament. I think it's going to be a tough road. It's a 8-player double round robin. That's 14 grueling, nerve-wracking games over basically almost a month. But there's Hikaru's record against Vesselin Topalov. And being this is the last player I'm going to show, I just want to recap a little bit. I still pick Hikaru Nakamura to win the candidates final. And I also want to give you an idea, a rough idea, what I think about the rest of the field. I think Hikaru's going to pull it off. I think second is going to be Peter Svidler or Levin Aronian. They might tie for second, tie for third. I think in fourth place, very close, would be Fabiano Caruana. And then the rest of the field will all be close. Sergei Karyakin, Anish Giri, Vishy Anand, and Vesely and Topalov, I think, will balance out the rest. I think they'll all be pretty close. I don't think there's anybody that's in last place, quote unquote, last place is going to be really getting killed. I think the bottom half, the bottom four are all going to be incredibly close in score. But I think this is Hikaru's time, and I think he can pull this off. So there you are. My pick for FIDE's candidate finals 2016, Hikaru Nakamura, and his record against the other players in the field.